Have you ever really looked at a dollar bill? I mean, really looked at it? The pyramid with the floating eye, the eagle clutching arrows, the Latin phrases that nobody bothers to translate anymore. What if I told you those aren't just symbols? What if every single element on that bill is part of a code, a map leading to a hidden fortune worth trillions of dollars? And what if the people who designed it never meant for anyone to find it? This is the story of the Brotherhood of the Green Ink, a secret society that's been hiding in plain sight for over 2 centuries. And by the end of this story, you'll never look at money the same way again. It started with a dusty journal in the National Archives, misfiled under Civil War correspondence. The journal was dated 1862. The cover bore a strange symbol, an eye within a compass, dripping green ink. Inside, the pages were filled with sketches of dollar bills. But these weren't finished designs. They were annotated with mathematical equations, astronomical charts, and geographic coordinates. One entry, written in hurried handwriting, read, "May God forgive us for what we have hidden in plain sight. The 7 seals are now scattered across the 13 original pillars. Only those who understand the language of currency will find what we have buried." 7 seals, 13 pillars. The person who found this journal immediately noticed something strange. The sketches matched the actual designs of US currency almost perfectly, but with one crucial difference. Hidden within the decorative scrollwork were tiny numbers and symbols that don't appear on modern bills. These weren't printing errors, they were instructions. Here's where it gets interesting. Take a $1 bill. Look at the back. The pyramid has 13 steps. The eagle holds 13 arrows. 13 stars float above its head. 13 stripes on the shield. 13 letters in E pluribus unum. Everyone thinks it's a tribute to the 13 original colonies. But what if it's more than that? What if each 13 is pointing to something specific? The journal revealed that the Brotherhood of the Green Ink, a group of founding fathers, Treasury officials, and Masonic leaders, designed the currency as a multi-layered puzzle. They encoded the location of a massive hidden treasury into the bills themselves, not on one denomination. All of them. You'd need a $1 bill, a 5, a 10, a 20, a 50, and a $100 bill, each from a specific year with specific serial numbers, to unlock the complete map. And according to the journal, these bills still exist, scattered across the country in museums, private collections, and maybe even your own wallet. The Latin phrase on the dollar bill, Novus Ordo Seclorum, is usually translated as New Order of the Ages, but when decoded using an 18th century cipher key found in Benjamin Franklin's personal correspondence, it says something completely different. Beneath the unfinished work lies the foundation of infinite wealth, the unfinished pyramid, not a symbol of a nation still building itself. A literal instruction. The Brotherhood took the gold and silver reserves accumulated during the Revolutionary War, the War of 1812, and the early days of Western expansion, assets that were never recorded in official ledgers, and hid them. Not in a bank, not in Fort Knox, somewhere no government could touch them. Somewhere that would require solving a puzzle built into the currency itself to find. The estimated value today, $4.7 trillion, maybe more. The journal contained a list of the 13 original colonies, but next to each one was a symbol matching an element from US currency. Pennsylvania, the eye in the pyramid. Massachusetts, the 13 stars. Virginia, the eagle's shield. New York, the olive branch. Each symbol corresponded to a specific geographic location within that state. When overlaid on a map, these locations formed a pattern, a massive geometric shape, stretching from Maine to Georgia. At the center of that shape, Washington, D.C. Specifically, an abandoned Masonic temple built in 1793 and condemned in 1967. The temple still stands, forgotten and overgrown, on the outskirts of the capital. According to the journal, this temple contains the entrance to the vault. But getting inside requires more than just finding the building. It requires the 7 seals. The 7 seals aren't objects, they're currency. 7 specific bills, printed between 1869 and 1878, each with a unique serial number listed in the journal. These bills were never supposed to leave circulation. They were meant to blend in, to hide among millions of other bills, waiting for someone smart enough or desperate enough to find them. Over the last century, a few have surfaced at auctions and estate sales. Most buyers had no idea what they actually held, but a small group of collectors, people who studied the journal and understood its significance, spent decades tracking them down. 3 years ago, all 7 bills were finally located. One in a museum in Philadelphia, one in a private collection in Boston, one hidden in the archives of the New York Federal Reserve, and 4 scattered among collectors who had no idea what they possessed. When these bills are placed together in a specific sequence, they form a key, not a metaphorical key, a physical one. The abandoned Masonic temple looks like a ruin. Cracked columns, shattered windows, walls covered in graffiti, but inside, beneath layers of dust and decay, the original architecture remains intact. The main chamber features an altar at its center, a marble platform with 7 indentations, each sized to fit a different denomination of currency. At the center of the underground vault sits a single pedestal. On it rests a leather-bound ledger. This ledger contains every financial secret the U.S. government has tried to hide for the last 2 centuries. Black budgets, slush funds, bribes paid to foreign officials, funds diverted to illegal wars, money laundering operations, assassinations financed through phantom accounts. Every dirty transaction meticulously recorded. The Brotherhood didn't hide gold. They hid proof. Proof of how money really moves in this country. Proof of who really controls it. The Treasury isn't currency. It's leverage. The kind of information that could topple governments, destroy corporations, and rewrite history. Now, here's where the story gets dangerous. Because once you know this information exists, you have a choice. Expose it and watch the world burn. Or protect it and become part of the system that's been lying to everyone for centuries. The Brotherhood of the Green Ink never dissolved. They evolved. So here's what you need to ask yourself. If you had access to that ledger, if you held the financial secrets of the most powerful nation on Earth, what would you do? Would you burn it all down for the sake of truth? Or would you protect the lie to preserve stability? The journal still exists. The bills are still out there. The temple is still watching. And the Brotherhood is still watching. They're counting on you to do nothing, to hear this story and dismiss it as conspiracy theory, to go back to your life and never question what's printed on the money in your pocket. But what if you're different? What if you're the one who actually looks? Pull out a dollar bill right now. Look at the pyramid, the eye, the Latin phrases. Ask yourself, what am I not seeing? Because the Brotherhood of the Green Ink designed those symbols knowing most people would never question them. They hid a map in plain sight because they understood human nature. We don't look closely at the things we use every day, but now you know the truth. The question is, what are you going to do about it? Share this story, investigate the symbols, research the history, or forget you ever heard it. The choice is yours. But remember, the Brotherhood is counting on you to choose silence. Don't give them what they want.